Another place that immunotherapy is being integrated, at least in studies, is malignant pleural mesothelioma. There was a study out of Australia, not a large one, but very interesting, that enrolled 31 patients very quickly to chemotherapy with the drug Imfinzi or durvalumab, and saw very good response rates and generally good tolerability, but not a big study. What do you see as the role for immunotherapy today outside of a trial for patients with mesothelioma?
I think as a standard therapy, I don't view immunotherapy as having been prime time yet for mesothelioma, though I think it's something that's very close to the rise. And there have been several studies with Imfinzi, Opdivo. There's some studies currently with Keytruda, combining them with chemotherapy, similar to what we've seen in non-small cell lung cancer. I think until we see more data for these patients, I would predominantly consider this something investigational. But the idea, in particular in these studies, where patients who typically don't have a good response on chemotherapy, what we call the non-epithelial or kind of sarcomatoid type variants, these are the tougher to treat flavors of mesothelioma. These patients seem to have done even a little better with immunotherapy. And so the idea that we can take a very hard to treat disease potentially and a hard to treat subgroup of patients with this disease and potentially improve their outcomes, I think is something we're really looking forward to. We definitely need better therapies for our patients with mesothelioma.
Well, I think that if you think that the standard of care now is to have a Limta, a platinum, plus Avastin as the new standard of care, and I think the data does support that when you look at this small trial, that the outcomes were not as close to where they would need to be to become superior to that regimen. Now, this is a very, very small trial, but I think the bar is now high for immunotherapy plus chemotherapy in this situation, and the information that we have does not look, in my opinion, I'm worried that it's not that promising, but I'll say it's a small number. And to your point about the mesothelioma does have a couple of subsets in terms of histology. On this particular study, I think all but one patient had the good subset. Right. So I think looking more to these other subsets is going to be important. And I think immunotherapy, there will be a role. I'm just not sure exactly where the role for immunotherapy is right now. It's way too early to tell.
Are you using it yet for patients who have progressed?
Well, for patients, that's a difference. Yes, right. Yes. For patients that progress, yes. But in
where we don't have a lot of good options.
Yes. In the frontline setting, though, which is what this study, the DREAM study, is looking at, the results were just not. They were modest, I would say, would be a good word to describe that.
And again, our comparator now is not just chemo alone, but we've seen good results with chemotherapy combined with Avastin, bevacizumab, and other anti-angiogenic drugs.
And I think perhaps maybe one area where I'll boldly say that perhaps a combination, a quadruple regimen here with Avastin and immunotherapy and chemotherapy, this now might be the area that it could make sense here. So we can wait and see about a quadruple regimen in this disease.